What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports 200 Show. We are currently live on YouTube, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a 7-round mock draft of the New York Jets. Just recently did a 7-round mock draft of the Jacksonville Jaguars, so make sure to go check that out. But I'm going to be trying to doing a 7-round mock draft of every single NFL team before the compensatory picks are released. So this is a 7-round New York Jets mock draft. These picks were simulated from ProFootballNetwork.com. So we will go ahead and get started here. Number 2, the pick right after the Jaguars. I have the Jets taking Zach Wilson. I like Zach Wilson a whole lot more than most people. Zach Wilson to me is far ahead of Justin Fields. I know lots of people have Justin Fields number 2 to the Jaguars, but I really prefer Zach Wilson. I think Wilson has much more potential. I think he's more pro ready, and overall, I think he's just better at pretty much everything rather than Fields. Honestly, people talk about who's quarterback number 2, Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. I think if you compare the two, the comparison between 1 and 2, between Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson, is a whole lot closer than the comparison between 2 and 3 with Zach Wilson and Justin Fields. I'm not really bold enough to say that Zach Wilson is the best quarterback prospect in the draft, but he's definitely 100% my favorite quarterback prospect in the draft. I really like him a lot. I think he has really nice future wherever he goes. He reminds me a lot of Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. And to me, another reason I kind of chose Wilson over Justin Fields is because Justin Fields, when his offensive line struggles to play, he tends to hold on to the ball and not throw it away, and he just gets sacked. And that's part of the reason why his completion percentage is just so high. But with Wilson, you look at some of his plays, against UCF and other teams like that, you watch his film. When he is blitzed, he'll scramble, make like a 50-yard pass, and make something out of nothing. Truly remarkable how good Wilson is. But I have number 2, I have the New York Jets taking Zach Wilson. Like I said, these picks were from Pro Football Network's mock draft simulator. These are not who I think will be here, but these are just who I picked up through the simulator. Number 23, you have to be really ecstatic if you are a New York Jets fan, and Travis Etienne, the running back from Clemson, is available. You get your quarterback of the future. You get your running back of the future. Travis Etienne, to me, reminds me a lot of Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. If you have a quarterback, Zach Wilson, who's half as good as Russell Wilson, if you have Etienne, who's like half as good as Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara, just half as good, you're still going to have a really, really nice future. Both those prospects to me are, Etienne's the best running back in the class to me. Wilson, you can make a case. But both of those picks would be great. You have Mekhi Becton, and if you can get a better offensive line as well, you can have a really nice team. Maybe get you some wide receivers or so. We have some receivers being taken later in the draft. But so far, to me, I think this draft is working out really well for the New York Jets. This next 2 picks here are more than likely unlikely because, these mock draft simulators are from a couple of days ago. This was before, after the Senior Bowl and stuff like that. So some of these players have risen up. For instance, the 2nd-round pick 34, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the linebacker from Notre Dame. He's regarded as, a top 3 linebacker in the draft. I don't think he'll be there, but, the Jets need some depth at linebacker. But I believe Neville Hewitt is a free agent for the Jets this season. He had over 100 tackles this season, so they need some more linebackers there. I think that'd be a great pick. He would be best player available. And if it's a team need and it's the best player available, you got to do it. Great pick there by the Jets at their 2nd-round pick. So as we go to their 3rd-round pick, this would be phenomenal if you're a Jets fan. They need some more edge rushers. Patrick Jones, to me, he's definitely one of my favorite, edge rushers in the draft. I don't have a big board. I don't have, like a prospect, rankings. I don't have a per position rankings yet. But to me, Patrick Jones is definitely one of my favorites. I like him more than Gregory Rousseau from Miami. I I kind of like him more than Kwity Paye from Michigan. But I really like Patrick Jones. If he's there, I mean, you take him like 100% of the time. He is just he should not be here. He shouldn't. I mean, you can when it comes down to it, he may not even be there in the second round pick. So the fact that they got him in the third here would be really nice for the Jets. Best player available, like I said, with Watsu Koroa, and it's team need. You take it. So they're kind of like I mentioned, the Jets need some more offensive linemen. And with their other third round pick, they take Jackson Carman, the offensive tackle from Clemson. I think this would be a good pick here. I mean, him and Mekhi Becton, they can protect their franchise quarterback in Zach Wilson. Mekhi Becton has a really nice future. Jackson Carman here, I'm not sure if he'll be available, but if he is, that would be a nice pickup and a good value pick for the Jets. In the fourth round, there is cornerback DJ Daniel from, I believe, Georgia. And I like this pick, but if Ambry Thomas, the corner from Michigan, is available here, he's also another corner to watch out for. I really like Ambry Thomas a lot. But either one of those corners here at pick, 101. But, obviously these pick numbers are going to change with the compensatory picks, being released not too long from now. But DJ Daniel here in the fourth round, I think that'd be a good pickup. In the fifth round, I know I already took Patrick Jones, but this I just really could not pass up on this. I mean, Payton Turner in the fifth round. I really like him. I also like Shaka Toney, Quincy Roche. There's lots of edge rushers. And about the third through fifth round, I like a lot. And if you already needed edge and you took Patrick Jones, why not get, Payton Turner? So you can have a really nice defensive end at each position. And, I think this is a really good pick here. It'll be interesting to see if he is going to be available or not because, there's some edge rushers who I feel like, they might rise or some may fall. But Payton Turner, I'm a really like him. It's not too big of a school, Houston, but that's a good pick there for the Jets. And their other fifth round pick, we've not took a wide receiver yet, so we really need to take a wide receiver. And the Jets really need wide receiver desperately. So I took Trevon Grimes, the wide receiver of Florida. And I honestly feel that Trevon Grimes was really overlooked during his time with the Gators, especially this past season because, Travis Manley threw to Kyle Pitts, who's going to be a top 15 pick, and Kadarius Toney, who's more than likely going to be a first-round pick. He was really overshadowed by those two, offensive players with Pitts and Toney. But Trevon Grimes were still here in the fifth. He had a really nice Senior Bowl this past week. His draft stock is going to rise some, so it'll be interesting to see if he's still going to be available here in the fifth round. But that would be, a nice pickup here in the fifth round. So as we go to the sixth round, Syracuse corner Trill Williams. I like Williams a lot. He's good in coverage, but the thing I like about him a lot is his tackling ability. It seems like corners now in the NFL, they don't really, they're not really good tacklers, and they try to go for the ball more than the player, and they're not just really good tacklers. Honestly, Trill Williams, he's the exact opposite. He's a really, really nice hitter, and the way he hits, you'd think he'd be a safety. I think that'd be a nice late round pickup. I think he's going to be one of the sleepers on the draft in the corner position. But as we go to the seventh round here, to me, I mentioned sleepers. I think one of the most biggest sleepers in the draft is going to be South Dakota State wide receiver Cade Johnson. The last two seasons with South Dakota State, Johnson has had 2,500 receiving yards and 25 touchdowns. He was at the Senior Bowl this past week, and the fact you play for South Dakota State and you're getting invited to the Senior Bowl, you have to be really good because, you're playing at such a small school and people are still able to notice, your great play. in your great work on the field. I think that'll be a great pick here. Really, I think this could be a sleeper pick. Whoever takes Cade Johnson here, I think they're going to have a really nice pick. It's a 7th-round pick, so even if it doesn't work out, you're not really, hurting by any means. I think it's one of those situations where you have, a low pick but high reward, low risk, high reward here, definitely for Cade Johnson. So, this was kind of the New York Jets 7-round mock draft. We will recap it here once again real quickly. Zach Wilson, number 2. Travis Etienne at their other first-round pick. Jeremiah Uwasu-Koroa in their 2nd round. Patrick Jones here in the 3rd round. Jackson Carman, the offensive tackle, in the 3rd. DJ Daniel, the corner, in the 4th. Payton Turner, the edge rusher, in the 5th round. Trevon Grimes, the wide receiver from Florida, in the 5th round as well. Trill Williams, the corner of Syracuse, in the 6th. And in the 7th round, Cade Johnson, the wide receiver from South Dakota State. I really appreciate everybody watching this video, listening to it. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a 7-round mock draft of every single NFL team. Other teams will be coming up here shortly. Instead of, it should actually be the Texans with their pick. So I'm going to be doing the Texans next instead of the Dolphins because the trade and everything. So the Texans mock draft will be coming out here in a day or two. So like I said, I really appreciate you listening to this. If you could like this video and more importantly subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time on the Sports Dude Hines Show.